Today we're going to draw some cute food icons that you could use for clip art, stickers, and beyond. Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to draw these cute food icons that you could use for stickers, clip art, patterns, and more. I'm using the app Procreate for my artwork. I've created a canvas 3000 by 3000 pixels at 300 dots per inch. This size is plenty big enough for any projects that you would choose to make your clip art into later. This is a 10 by 10 inch canvas, so these items will be fairly large. You can make your canvas whatever size you wish, just make sure it's 300 dots per inch minimum so that it prints clearly for any projects that you create. Today I'm using the monoline brush. It's in the calligraphy section of the brush library and it comes free with Procreate. So the first item I want to draw is pizza. Okay, so I have my little pizza guy here, and of course he needs a cute little face. And I'm going to go ahead and color it. Before I color it, I want to duplicate this layer. I don't want to drop the color into my layer here. I want to duplicate it so that I have a nice clean border, or if I wanted to change any of the colors, it's easy. And then I'll drop the color in down here. I've drawn it all in one layer. You could draw it in multiple layers so that you can move things around a little bit easier, but I just kind of wanted to draw them quick, so I did it all in one layer. So I'll go to my layer that's all the way at the bottom, and that's where I'll drop my colors. As long as your edges are sealed, you can drop the color in here, and then it will make a nice clean area, and it's really easy to color this way. It's pretty quick, rather than having to go in and fill in each of the shapes either by like coloring with your brush, or if you drop the color in the original layer. I don't really like to do that just in case there's a mistake. It's kind of hard to go back. So I want to do it in this duplicate here and then keep this layer on top so that everything looks nice and clean. Okay, so I'll continue coloring him just by dropping in the different colors for the pizza, and then I'll meet you back here. Okay, I have my little pizza guy, and if I turn off my background, I like to double check, and then you'll notice things like his eyes. I want them to have a white shine, but they're transparent. So I'll go ahead and add my white in there and take a look and make sure everything else checks out, and that looks good. If I was going to make a sticker out of this, I would add a white border. So I would group these up and then I would make a new layer all the way at the bottom. And ideally they'd all be in the same group there. So I would use a white border, something like that, if I were going to be cutting this out on my Cricut, just to make sure that the Cricut cuts along this line and it doesn't crop into any of my like little pizza guy here. Okay, and if I were just using him for clip art or for a pattern, I would export this as a PNG without that white border. I only use that white border when I'm creating stickers on my Cricut. Alright, so that is my pizza layer here, and it's in this nice neat little folder, so in case I need to come back in here and use it for a different project, like this right here could be exported as a PNG, and this would be really cute for like a coloring page or something. So that's why I like to work in layers, because it leaves me more options with my artwork for projects later on down the road, rather than if I had dropped all of my color in here and then I was left with only this guy that's already colored. I don't want to have to redraw things. So if I were making a coloring book or something like that, then I easily have my border. I just like to give myself options so I can reuse this artwork for multiple different projects and save myself some time. I'm trying to fill the canvas as much as possible because I made this nice square where I can, in the end, turn off my background layer and then export all of these at once from this one document as PNGs. If you're drawing really small, it's going to export as like your shape is the PNG with all of this blank area all around it. So if you're making stickers for like GoodNotes, for example, if somebody imports this, then they have like all of this area here that is not cropped in tight, and it's really annoying. And it's also annoying for you to have to crop this later on. So I like to fill the canvas as much as possible so that I don't have to do any cropping later and my PNGs are exporting nice. Let's draw a cute donut. So I'll make my oval there and hold my pen down so that it creates a perfectly smooth shape. I duplicated my outer ring and then I resized it to make my inner ring, but you can see the weight of the line has changed. I think this looks messy. It's kind of personal preference, I guess, but I don't like it because it looks like two different line weights and it really bothers me. So instead of using that one, I'll just redraw it. You can kind of like place it where you think it's going to look good and use it as a guide, but I wouldn't use that as my line because I don't like how thin it looks. So I'm just going to redraw it here. That looks better to me. If you draw multiple layers, it's really easy to fix things like this, where this is hanging over the edge. You would be able to easily erase it without erasing this part of the border here. Okay, so I'll just finish drawing my little donut here. Okay, I have my little donut here, and now I'll duplicate that layer and go ahead and color the bottommost layer. Okay, I'm going to test my little donut here by turning off the background and checking for weird areas. I've seen her eyes don't have the white shine again, so I'll add that in. And okay, that looks good. Again, if it's going to be a sticker, then it needs a white border. I think you can actually add this border in Cricut Design Space now. I don't think you have to draw it in anymore. The last I was on there printing things, I happened to notice that they had an option for adding a white border. I was so happy. So you don't really have to do this anymore, I don't think, which is great because it was always like an annoying extra step. But I'm in the habit of doing it, and I've already started, so here we go. If you use Cricut and you've made your stickers on there and noticed that new feature where they could add the white border, put in the comments below what you think of it. Has it caused any problems, or do you think it's good? Like, can we forego this whole step in Procreate or whatever drawing app you're using where we needed to add the white border? Like, can we just skip it now and use theirs? What do you think? Okay, so this is like dangerously close to the edge, but you can see it's not quite there. So I'm going to leave it alone. If it was cropped off, then you would have this ugly straight line there, but it looks okay. It's within the bounds. Put that up into a folder, and then I'll show you how I export these. Because they're all in the same canvas and they're grouped up in these nice little folders, you could export them one by one as PNGs if you don't have very many. It's fairly simple. You just push Actions, Share, PNG, and then you would just export it to your camera roll. So save image. Or you can export it as PNG files, which is much faster, but it's going to export every single layer. So just keep that in mind. If you don't want certain layers to be exported, just go ahead and click them off here. If you don't want, like, for example, the white border, then you can turn those off. And then when you press Share PNG files, it'll export 4 images here, which is my outline, my just black outline, and then my colored in pizza and my colored in donut. And I can just save those to my camera roll. and then I don't have like this white border saved as its own PNG file, which seems kind of like silly, like I don't really need that. So just remember to turn off the layers you don't want to be exported when you use PNG files. This is a really fast way to export multiple images at once, so you don't have to go in and highlight like just the pizza and save it as a PNG, or just the donut, because if you have lots and lots of folders or lots of layers, then that would be a little bit time consuming. It's so much nicer to be able to just export it all at once. So you can see these saved as PNGs. They have a transparent background. It's all black so that I know that it worked. So these would be really easy to import back into Procreate when creating like a pattern, or into Cricut Design Space to make stickers. And there's so many things you can do with it. I use these a lot in GoodNotes. You can make digital stickers, and those are really fun to use in GoodNotes. You customize like a digital planner or something. And people sell these kind of things on Etsy, like GoodNotes planners and GoodNotes stickers. There's quite a bit on there, so you could always export these for people to use as clip art or digital stickers. If you make a whole bunch of them at once, it's pretty quick. Well, I hope this tutorial was fun for you. If you're on Instagram and you share your artwork on there, you can tag me at MyMcDoodles so I can see the fun stuff that you created. Don't forget to subscribe before you go so you don't miss out on the next fun tutorial. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.